Victoria Viena.
So can you talk about your experiences presenting?
They were actually pretty fun. One of the presentations that I did on my own was kind of really like nerve-wracking a little bit, but it was actually pretty interesting to know how they reacted to it, I guess. And the ones that I did with Karime for Car and Kelly were actually really fun because I'm used to these teachers. And since they were freshmen and some sophomores, it was actually a little bit easier to deal with. And the reactions weren't surprising since they were actually pretty excited for the presentation.
Why do you think it's important to present on know your rights on immigration?
I think it's important to present about know your rights because just to like be informing people about like the things that happen about know your rights, like basics, and just to know like what like are the causes and what happens and what to be informed of.
What were the reactions of the students?
I'm sorry, what?
The reactions of the students when you presented, or after?
Some people were surprised about like the warrants mostly because they didn't really like know, and then some of them were just normal, I guess.
What words didn't they know?
They didn't know words. Notary. They didn't know what notary was really.
Okay. Your name?
My name is Karina Reyes, and I'm a freshman. Many people were interactive, and they actually enjoyed the topic that we used to talk about immigration and ICE officers who often barge into people's homes, and the differences between being deported and not, as in like a warrant.
Why do you think it's important for students to know about this?
It's important for students to know because there's been like an uprise of ICE agents deporting people since January, and many of our students have been affected by this issue.
What were the reactions of students in the classrooms?
Some isolated themselves from the topic, others were actually interacting, and those who interacted shared some of their own personal, or they shared one of their cousins or like a friend.
What about the teachers?
The teachers interacted in a way where they sometimes gave their own personal opinion, or they were comforting us, as in like if we didn't understand something, they would reassure us.
What would you change if you could change anything about the presentation?
What would I change? I would change more interaction, like to put in assignments in order to get people more engaged into the presentation.
My name is Crystal, and I'm an 11th grader. Well, during the presentation, there was way more student participation than I thought there would be, because they were asking questions and they were telling their own stories and they were really involved, and it made me feel like they were actually getting something out of it. We discussed immigration, know your rights, things that people should know in case they ever have some type of encounter with ICE, and what it is and how they can protect themselves from incriminating themselves by saying things that they're not supposed to. We aim to just inform the students, because even if they're not adults, they don't, even if they're kids, they can still go and tell their families and then spread the word. So we were really trying to reach everyone by just starting off with the students. So when I explained to them the rights that they have when with immigration, with ICE, there was a lot of things they didn't know about, and they kept asking me questions what they could do, or things that if they were okay, if they weren't, and they also explained their experiences, if they had a family member that had some type of encounter, or if they themselves had an encounter with someone, and maybe their fears or their thoughts about the situation.
When you say encounter with someone, what do you mean by that?
Their encounters with ICE, because they've had people that their parents have been they've come into their home, ICE has come into their homes, and their parents have been taken away and deported within the last few months, or them themselves have been approached by in their community, been approached by an ICE member, I guess, and they asked them questions and they just like didn't know what to say, and then they said that this information was helpful because now they do. I took away that there's so much out there that people don't know, and that it's like even if you wouldn't think it's that helpful, it really is, because even like a little bit of information that they could like gain from what I told them it helps. And I think what they took away was that they actually do have rights and that they need to like exercise those rights.
If you can change anything about your presentations, what would it be?
I think I would have, if we would have had more time, because we didn't really have a lot of time, if we would have had more time, we would have made some type of activity or something to make it even more interactive, like so that they were more engaged, like hands-on. Like the one thing that they mentioned in our group was make, because we talked about like how ICE uses like fake warrants and stuff like that to like trick people, and we could have maybe acquired a fake one and then a real one so that they could compare and they could see and they could like know even more information.
Do you have any closing thoughts?
I think it was good and we should do it again because I can see how it's very good.